Birds are screaming. I'm visiting my grandma at the summer house and walking currently not exactly in the woods. It's like nearby our house, but somewhere there the real forest is starting. And it feels super nice to be back to homeland, to my summer house, which is actually, I think, the only place that hasn't changed since my early childhood. I kind of feel like that at the moment I'm in the period of my life where I'm not exactly sure where I'm going. And while I was walking here, I remember that many years ago when I was a little kid, I think from 5 years to 10 years, I always spent summer here in my summer house. And one of the favorite activities was together with my cousin to take our bikes and leave the house early morning and just go into the wild. Like we had no direction, we had no idea where we're heading. We like to go into the last road on the crossroad and choose one of the directions and just go there as long as we can. We never knew what is waiting for us on the other side of the road, if there is even a road. Sometimes there were none, but it was super cool, and this kind of adrenaline, but also the absolute feeling of freedom that you don't have any responsibilities whatsoever. You have all the time of your life and the whole day for you, and it felt amazing. I think this is one of the best memories of my childhood, and now I kind of feel like I'm doing something similar. Video from my summer house that you just witnessed was filmed the first day of summer, June 1st. Now it's the end of the first week of September. So let's go back to spring and discuss what exactly happened and why I took this long break. I think it all started in March. I got very sick, I lost my voice, and I started to think more about how do I manage my time, where do I spend my energy, and I realized that I'm getting closer to the burnout. At that period, there were a lot of things changing at my work, and I also had a lot of ArtBeats activities going on. I was super stressed, I was super tired. I already had two burnouts before in my life, and now I started to notice patterns. So I wanted to stop it before it gets too bad, and I made a decision to take a break. In March, I turned 31, and I think for the last several years, I'm experiencing some of 30-year-old crisis patterns because I start to reflect and reevaluate my decisions and things that I did through last 10 years. And I've been working for all these 10 years non-stop in a full-time job, sometimes even combining two jobs or multiple side projects. And I realized that maybe I want to change something, but I wasn't ready to make a big decision because I was too tired and I wasn't in the right place to think everything clearly. I'm happy that my employer was flexible and I negotiated 3 months unpaid leave with the opportunity to come back. But to be honest, I still was quite scared because I never had such a long break and I was always working and I always had a feeling that I need to be important, that I need to be useful. I liked when I'm needed, and now like taking a break from work and from big responsibilities felt to me kind of eccentric, I would say, but I was so wrong. I think now looking back, I think I was wrong about so many things and even about my perception about myself. So when the break started, I was traveling a lot in the beginning. My idea was that I need to rest completely, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatsoever. So I started with a lot of travels. And in this video, I will briefly go through, I think, almost all of them, if not all of them. Then after the travels, I had a plan. I wanted to focus on three things: on learning Spanish, doing more sports, and dedicating more time for art, especially painting. Fast forward, I haven't actually focused on these three things. I don't know how it happened. I think I did everything else apart these things. Well, partially I did some, like for example, I do Duolingo every day, but it's definitely not enough, and I was planning to actually sit with the book and learn Spanish or to do some other things, but no, I kind of ditched it. The second part about sport. So, sport and painting. My plan was that the agenda of my day would look like I'm waking up, I'm having breakfast, then I'm doing sports for 2 hours, some yoga, stretching, running, then I go painting for 5 hours. I finish I don't know how many paintings during the summer. Of course. If we talk about sports, the only thing that I did through summer, I signed up for a high heel dancing course in July, but I even couldn't attend 2 classes in a week because I was too tired after the first class. So I paid, I think, twice more than I would pay if I only paid for one class, but I still enjoyed it. And unfortunately, my teacher is leaving Barcelona, so it was like the last opportunity to dance with her. And yeah, and that's kind of it. So there were no other achievements in sports. uh, if we talk about painting, I finished one painting through the whole summer just because there was a deadline. There was an ArtBeats event for which I wanted to finish the painting, and that was my motivation to do it. Of course, I painted, but way less than I was expecting myself to paint. So in the beginning of August, I actually realized that I already had enough rest. I already had a lot of fun for the first 2 months, and now I'm just been watching Instagram Reels without any purpose, and I'm not actually doing anything beneficial for myself. So I decided that I need to bring some of the structure into my days and weeks, and I didn't go too crazy as I usually do when I'm working, like planning every hour, almost every minute of the day with tasks and deadlines. I did differently. So I took a notebook and I put priorities of the week and priorities of the day. For example, priorities of the week were to paint something, or like to finish a specific painting or start specific painting, to make X amount of ceramics, to eat well. I literally, like, I was putting this on the list because sometimes I was skipping lunches and dinners just because I had no agenda. And I even put to look nice and to do some stretching in the morning. So I also started to incorporate a bit more sport in my agenda. And priorities of the day, for example, were paint for at least 30 minutes and edit YouTube video, for example. So this actually helped me a lot, and I was no longer stressed that I'm just ruining my days without doing anything, but also I was not overwhelmed. Further in this video, I'll show you overview of my trips that I did through the summer, and then we'll talk about painting, ceramics, bare walls, ArtBeats events, and 3D modeling also, because I started to learn 3D modeling. May started with a boat trip along Barcelona coastline. It was the birthday of my friend, and we had a great time on the boat with amazing sunset. Next stop was Copenhagen. With my boyfriend, we got tickets for 30 Seconds to Mars concert in Copenhagen, but it was cancelled. Anyways, we decided to go, and I really enjoyed the city and that short trip overall. I still wanted to go to that concert, so we took a train to Madrid, and here we are. Basically, I was a huge fan of 30 Seconds to Mars when I was a teenager, but then somehow I stopped listening to their music. And last year, when they announced the tour in Europe, I was like, okay, it's now or never. I had so much fun screaming the lyrics of all the old songs, and to be honest, even though it wasn't the best rock concert, like the sound could have been better and there wasn't so many people in the crowd, but I still enjoyed this time so much. And after this, I've been listening to 30 Seconds to Mars again, like almost every day for the whole summer. The next day after concert, I had my flight to Riga to celebrate birthday of my grandma, to see my family, to spend some time in Latvia. And the weather was great. I went to summer house. I spent time with my family, with my cat, so it was a nice trip. Then my friend Katrina came to visit me in Barcelona. She actually has a whole vlog about this trip on her YouTube channel. Also, our friend Valeria with the family was at Lloret de Mar, and we went to visit her as well. One of the highlights of the summer was my solo trip to Rome. It was only 2 nights, but I had amazing time there, and also I managed to focus on sketching, and I have a separate YouTube vlog about this trip. In the beginning of July, I went to Antwerp to meet with my friend Katrina, and also Valeria came from The Hague to Antwerp, so we had the reunion, three of us celebrating Katrina's birthday. After all the trips, I was back to Barcelona for more calmer lifestyle, so I had time to go to the galleries and enjoy my friends from ArtBeats community, attending different events and just having good time together. Last trip of the summer was trip to Sardinia with my parents. Actually, they fly there from Latvia almost every summer, and then I joined them for a few nights. Big news are that I sold this painting. Yes, it was exhibited at the ArtBeats event in April, and since we prolonged the exhibition in May, a French person bought this and we had to ship it to France. So I'm both happy and sad because I actually missed this painting, and here you can see me saying goodbye to my painting and bringing it to the gallery to get shipped. This is the latest painting. I think it took me about 2 months to finish. It was made for exhibition in July, ArtBeats event in Raima. And here you can see the whole exposition. I actually made the frame myself. It was quite difficult, but I wanted to try. And I finally filmed a YouTube tutorial about varnishing this painting. This summer I had some important realization about my relationship with art. Regarding painting, I'm putting too much pressure on myself and too much importance on being a good painter. And then when I actually sit and start painting, I realized that I don't have the level of the skills that I would like to have. And then I start to kind of nudge myself and make myself feel bad about it. And this actually demotivates myself a lot to continue painting. So it was a big step for me to realize that I'm doing this. And now I'm trying to remove importance because, for example, with the ceramics, I don't have any um, ego related things that I want to become a great ceramist. And somehow it is easy for me to make ceramics and people like it and people buy it, and maybe because they're not such an importance. So with the oil painting I have this, and also because I still have some perfectionistic traits, it's difficult for me to start something because I am afraid that I will spend crazy amount of time and a lot of energy, and will also stress myself out because I need to do this thing perfectly. So I'm trying to train myself to do something even for like 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Like for example, I tell to myself, okay, Alona, you don't need to finish the painting. You can go and spend 30 minutes painting, or even just looking at the painting and trying to figure out what do you want to paint. And then it kind of triggers the system and you want to continue painting. But then I need to stop myself at some point, because if I go again to the hyper focus and trying to do everything perfectly, then I will have negative feelings afterwards, and I will have less motivation for the next day to continue. So I was trying to teach myself how to be consistent but not overachieving things. So now I feel more playful when I'm painting because I don't set very strict deadlines and expectations. And I realized that for me it's more important to enjoy this process rather than achieve some specific results. Of course, I want to become a great painter and I want to improve my skills, but I don't want to lose the spark in the process of doing this. The most success was with ceramics. I managed to create a lot of ceramics during the summer. Some of my friends made orders. I was working on creative pieces, and also I secured partnerships with two stores. The first one is Tevona. It's placed in the center of Barcelona in Born. They have different ceramics workshops, but also they support local artists and let them sell artworks in their store. And the second one is Area. It's a small but super cute store in Gracia. You can also buy jewelry or clothes there, and now my ceramics is available as well. Here you can witness some of my favorite ceramic pieces that I made during this summer. With my friend Katrina, we have a project. It's called Bare Walls, where we sell digital prints. We made Etsy store some time ago, but during the summer we were updating it with more prints, both digital and physical prints. So from digital prints, I think the highlights are these oysters made by Katrina, and you can see how they look like. The idea of a digital print is that you can download a zip file, unzip it, and then use it as many times as you want. Like you can print it in different formats, in different sizes. It's very convenient, and you can print how many times you want. And the physical prints, I printed several of them for ArtBeats events, and now I have them left at home, so we're also selling them. Now physical prints we have in A3 size, but I will add A4 sizes soon on Etsy store as well. And if you want to have art piece made by us in your home, if you want to support us, definitely you can order them at Etsy, or you can just follow us on Etsy here. This is me going on the Haze event with all of the equipment needed to host an event. This was a new format, more focused on electronic music, folk, and sculptures. Here you can see how it looked like. Then in July, we hosted a regular ArtBeats format event. This time it was at Raima. It actually took me about 2 years to negotiate with them and to finally host the event together, so I'm very happy and it feels like a big achievement for me. Everything went great. We had a lot of new artists, and the exhibition was 2 weeks long. But at the opening event, we had both musicians performing their own songs, and also at the end, we did a little jam session, which I think sounded absolutely amazing. I wasn't planning any more events, but in the beginning of August, I met with art host people and we decided to host a small gathering together. It wasn't that small, we actually had around 50 people joining, and we had poetry reading, live music, presentations, and also live painting together. And we finished summer on 31st of August celebrating ArtBeats' second birthday. We had a little party at the rooftop with ArtBeats participants, and also I invited people who help us to host events during these 2 years. I am very grateful to everyone who came and who couldn't come but sent us greetings and wishes. And ArtBeats community is always very special to me, and I'm happy that we can celebrate these things together. Hey, this is me trying Blender for the first time, and I'm a bit afraid if I'm gonna suck at it or it will be easy to learn. We'll see. It is quite challenging. My brain is doing everything not to learn new stuff, but I'm pushing myself forward, and now I'm in the process of finishing tutorial of a donut. It definitely will take some time for me to learn how to use the tool and be able to make something out of it. So the real question is what's happening now, right? Do. I'm back to work to the same company, but part-time now. I decided that I'm not ready to part ways completely, but that I need to have time, space, and energy to make art, to paint, to do ceramics, to organize ArtBeats events. That this is vitally important for me as a human being to create art, and I get sad and mad and everything else if I'm not doing this. But at the same time, I'm also not financially capable of sustaining myself by making art. As you know, I sold some painting ceramics, but of course it's not enough. And also, I still enjoy being a project manager. I still like moving things around, and I have quite a lot of energy. So at the moment, I think this is a good option for me to work part-time and the rest dedicate to art and to myself. Thank you so much for watching, and you can subscribe to all my Instagram accounts, and also for Bearwell's Etsy store. Everything is in the description below. Am I filming?